Hi hermanos, how is it going? When we speak about Club Deportivo Guadalajara, we speak about tradition, we speak about family, we speak about lineage, and we're speaking about a passion that has been transferred from generation to generation over the last 118 years, from father to son, from grandfather to grandchild, and the pitch is no exception, such as in the stands. Red and white lineage has also been transferred from generation to generation inside the pitch, and therefore today we are presenting some of the most famous, some of the most well-recognized red and white lineages where father and son, and sometimes even the grandfather as well, defended the colors of our institution on the pitch. For the first team, stay with me for this time capsule of red and white lineage. Let's kick off with two of the most recent ones, with two of the most recent canteranos to make their incursion in the first team. Let's kick off with the González lineage, yes, speaking about Armando La Hormiga González, and the Chivas lineage, speaking about Tilón and Tiloncito Chávez. Armando González Alba is one of the latest assets to move from Cantera Rojiblanca all the way to the first team. La Hormiga arrived to the discipline of El Rebaño and incorporated himself to the under-17 category. He has followed the footsteps of his father, who also played for El Rebaño Sagrado. We're speaking about Armando González Bejarano, who arrived to Chivas in the 1988-89 season and defended the jersey of the red and white until 1995. Mateo Chávez is a left back who, just like La Hormiga, arrived to El Rebaño back in 2020 and went through the under-17 category. He is the son of one of the most charismatic and one of the most beloved players of the decade of the 90s, and we are speaking about Paulo César Chávez, who defended the red and white on two stages throughout his career, between 1993 and 2000, and then between 2005 and 2006. Chivas del Guadalajara. Chivas del Guadalajara. Another family where El Guadalajara has increased with great tradition is the family of Javier El Chicharito Hernandez and his grandfather, Campeonísimo Tomás Balcázar. Campeonísimo Don Tomás Balcázar won 5 league titles with El Rebaño and then became assistant coach of head coach Javier de la Torre. Don Tomás is the grandfather of Javier El Chicharito Hernandez. Silvia Balcázar, the daughter of Don Tomás, got married with Javier Hernandez Gutiérrez, the father of El Chicharito, who played for Tecos, Puebla, and Morelia. We gotta say that he did not wear the red and white, unlike his father-in-law, Don Tomás, and his son, Javier Hernandez Jr. We gotta say that El Chicharito followed the footsteps of his father and his grandfather when representing the Mexican national team at a World Cup. De la Torre is a synonym of success and glory when it comes to associating that last name to Club Deportivo Guadalajara. Glory and victory in the 20th and 21st century. This is the De la Torre lineage. When we speak about the De la Torre last name, we're speaking about one of the most important last names in the history of El Guadalajara. And this lineage kicks off with El Ingeniero Javier de la Torre. El Ingeniero made his debut for El Guadalajara back in the 1943-44 season, concretely on December the 5th of 1943. With the red and white, Javier de la Torre disputed 278 matches, where he scored 81 goals throughout 12 seasons, including official matches as well as international fixtures and friendlies. El Ingeniero then left his footprint on the benches as he won 5 league titles for Chivas as the head coach of El Rebaño. The 5 league titles won by De La Torre as the head coach of El Guadalajara makes him the 4th all-time head coach with the most league titles of Liga MX. If Javier De La Torre as a player is the 9th all-time top scorer in the history of El Guadalajara with 78 goals, his son, Eduardo De La Torre, stands on the 5th place of the all-time Chivas top scorers with 89. Yayo De La Torre made his debut with Chivas back in 1977 and won the league title 10 years later in 1987. Yayo is one of the best remembered goal scorers not only in Chivas but also in Liga MX throughout the late 70s as well as the decade of the 1980s. The De La Torre saga continues with José Manuel El Chepo De La Torre and Néstor De La Torre, both of them nephews of Ingeniero Javier De La Torre and cousins of Yayo. Even though they both managed to play for El Guadalajara, their glory days were wearing a suit and tie. José Manuel De La Torre and Néstor De La Torre together constructed a strong Guadalajara team. El Chepo in the bench as the head coach and Néstor De La Torre as general manager, completing in this way a virtuous circle of De La Torre family members in the red and white. Arellano is one of the most special and recognized last names in the history of Chivas. We're speaking about Raúl La Pina Arellano, as well as Omar Arellano, and the lineage in between. This is the Arellano lineage. When we speak about Campeonísimos, we gotta speak about Raúl La Pina Arellano, who was the top scorer of El Guadalajara in the institution's first ever Mexican title back in the 1956-57 season. La Pina was a very important forward and a key player in attack. He was part of 6 of the championships conquered during the time of El Campeonísimo. His son is Omar Arellano Nuño, who forged himself in the Cantera Rojiblanca, yes, in the youth academies of Chivas, and he made his debut with the first team of the Tapatian squad back in 1995. He soon became a champion with El Rebaño just like his father and was part of the team that conquered La Novena back in the 1986-87 season. The third Arellano in discussion is Omar Arellano Riverón, son to Omar Arellano Nuño and grandson of Don Raúl La Pina Arellano. Unlike his father, Omar Arellano did not make the jump from Cantera to the first team as he made his debut with Los Tuzos del Pachuca, but then signed for El Rebaño Sagrado in Apertura 2007. Omar Arellano scored a total of 18 goals for Chivas and was part of that Guadalajara team to arrive to the Copa Libertadores final back in 2010. I hope that you have enjoyed this piece on red and white lineages about Tradición Rojiblanca, that tradition that is passed from father to son or from grandfather to grandson in the stands and on the TV. Supporting El Guadalajara has also been transferred inside the pitch from player to player, from father to son. Signing off this new edition of We Go Chew Tops, I am Alfredo Rodríguez, and as always, arriba las Chivas.
Y Chivas, mi corazón.